All right, guys, welcome back to Ratang Does Sports. Now, the Springboks have been victorious over Argentina in a slim win of 27-29 in favor of the Springboks. Now, a very, very, very ugly win. Not the win that they drew up or wanted, but a win nonetheless. Now, this win obviously gives us the points that we needed in order to surpass or to retain the Rugby Championship in going back to back. But this game was short from perfect. Rather, this was a complete opposite of perfect and a complete opposite of the brand of rugby that we played in the previous week. Now, this game was set up actually from the start to be problematic. Not in a bad way, but I don't think we were set up for success either. Looking at the squad, in my opinion, I would have preferred to start Grant Williams in the 9 and Mani Lebok in the 10. Now, not that, look, Sasha Feinberg and Gomez Zulu, and I say this with every fiber of my being, he is that guy. Sasha Feinberg and Gomez Zulu is that guy. You guys heard me sing his praises last week. But also, we need to remember, Sasha suffers from this thing called the syndrome of youth, right? Where Sasha had a monumental game last week. This week, I anticipated already that he was not going to have that good of a game. Now, he was actually a shining light in certain areas of the game when things were looking bleak. But I did anticipate that we were going to see him force certain things when things didn't need to be forced, whether if that was kicks or passes. I anticipated seeing a level of, I guess, trying to prove that what happened in the previous week is like who I am, and that's what I can produce week in, week out, which isn't the case yet for him. He's getting these Dan Carter, comparisons of when Dan Carter broke onto the scene. And Sasha's a great player, but he needs to mature into a better fly half in order for him to be kind of our fly half going forward into 2027, the World Cup. But he didn't have a bad game. I'll start there. He didn't have a bad game. And also, why I would have loved to see Grant and Marnie play is because I think it's been a while since we've seen that combination. And Marnie, when he came onto the pitch last week, had a significant impact as soon as he stepped onto the field. So I would have loved to see him actually get a run out with the boys. But nonetheless, look, the squad was not bad. That was just the one area which I wanted to see change. Now then, moving into the game itself, that first half was extremely cagey. A lot of silly mistakes. I think the errors could have been avoided. We put ourselves under significant pressure by, again, trying to force things, passes that were simply not there, wanting to do just that extra something to try and see if it comes off. When in a game like this game was about today was not about proving anything. It was about winning the game. And we just about did that. I think that if Santi Carreras makes that 3-point conversion in the middle of the field, this scoreline is a whole lot different. It's a whole lot different. Now, obviously, sports is the best form of reality TV, and we can go on and on about the if, buts, and maybes. But at the end of the day, the Springboks did win the game. They showed enough to be able to win the game. Now, I don't know if they deserve to win the game, but nonetheless, they did win the game. I mean, looking at the statistics, the attacking statistics, I mean, they passed the ball more than us. They had more carries. They had more post-contact meters than us. They had more line breaks than us. Argentina today, and I saw this a lot in the first half, whenever they had ball in hand, their ability to get over the gain line for me was incredible. I don't think we were prepared for the level of physicality that they wanted to bring into the field. Also, Carreras, the what do you call this? The fullback for Santiago Carreras, the fullback for Argentina, I think for me had a really, really good game today. The way he kicked the ball, it really put us under pressure, and especially you could see them targeting Ethan Hooker and Ethan Hooker's side a lot of the game today. Obviously, Ethan Hooker is new to international rugby, and adjusting can be difficult. And look, Ethan Hooker, if we're having it right, Ethan Hooker's a center, but he's playing at wing. He's got pace, he's got power. He's a big boy. They caught Ethan Hooker standing far, far, far too shallow at times, and they were just able to either put balls behind him, and we just saw time and time again Willemse or Sasha having to go and cover to regain the ball. Or even on defense, he going one-on-one with a player because he was caught on an overlap. We saw Damien having to kind of hustle to get to the other side of the pitch to help out. I mean, that's how they scored one of their tries in the first half, where by Batista Adel Guy, where ball came out wide, it went skip pass, and Batista came running, did a step. Ethan Hooker made the tackle, but then Damien kind of had to be there to kind of have more impetus, just because Ethan was caught on the overlap. Now, I think that is more of a structural thing than really Ethan's fault. But again, those things we need to be able to adapt to. Those are the things that against a team like Ireland, a France, and New Zealand, if they're firing on all cylinders on that day, are going to take advantage on us. But the game wasn't all before I move on to some of the positive notes, I've been saying this the entire rugby championship, and at this point I feel like a broken record, but the amount of turnovers we're giving away is absolutely ridiculous. Looking at the turnovers, I'm looking down at my laptop where I've got all of the stats. Looking at the game in total, we conceded 10 penalties, right, to their 13, so fair enough, but that we lost 16 turnovers to their 12. And if we're looking at that in terms of points, Carreras missed a penalty from that. They missed opportunities at the line through mauls and such. If it's a different day and Argentina are firing, we lose this game. And like I've said it many, many times, against a team like New Zealand, Ireland, or France, we're not going to be able to ride our luck like that, where we're not performing well ourselves, and yet we're still giving away silly penalties in the wrong places in the field. That is something that needs to be addressed going into the end of year tour to Europe. This is a huge talking point, and I don't think people are actually stressing this issue enough. I know every single team makes mistakes at the breakdown with ball in hand, but the fact that we're giving away these silly penalties in the wrong places on the field is very worrying for me. And this is a pattern that I've picked up throughout the whole rugby championship. But it wasn't all doom and gloom. Yes, we lack creativity with ball in hand. Yes, Cheslin Colby had himself a shocker of a game, throwing away a horrible pass, leading to a try. But there were a lot of good things that came from this game. The scrum dominance, phenomenal. I mean, at one point when we had 13 men off of the field, we saw something which we haven't seen before, where Peter Steph du Toit kind of played the scrum half, and then Kobus Reinach folded out to go play among the back lines, the rest of the back line in the defensive line. And meaning that we would have to scrum with 7 men to their 8. And I mean, we almost looked more dominant and more efficient having 7-man scrumming than we did 8. I mean, we didn't miss Peter Steph at all when we were scrumming. I mean, Visa just moved from 7 and went to go, sorry, from 8 and went to go replace Peter Steph at 7. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but I think the South African scrum is the best scrum in the world. Argue with yourself, honestly. There isn't a better scrum in the world than South Africa, and I think we're proving it time and time again when we have Oxenchair, phenomenal scrummager. We have Vocalo, phenomenal scrummager. We have Thomas du Toit, who's also a really good scrummager. We have youngsters like Bowen Venter, was not really a youngster but new to the squad, but a true youngster in Jan Hendrik Wessels. We have Bowen Venter, who all 5 of these are top class scrummagers, and we see it time and time again. When Ox goes off and Jan comes on, we're missing Ox, of course, because Ox is Ox, but we're not missing him too much because Jan is still able to give us a certain level of dominance over the opponent. Same thing with du Toit and then Vocalo coming on. We almost look better with Vilko scrummaging than we do du Toit. So the scrum is a phenomenal part of our game. I think it was good to see players like Sasha and Willemse creating kind of special moments when, because we lacked so much creativity today, I don't know what on earth happened, but apart from Reinach, Sasha, and Willemse, the back line with ball in hand kind of looked anonymous today. Sasha, and I'll say it again, time and time again, he is the guy. He is simply that guy. And we saw it, breaking the lines, clever kicking, his decision making at times, absolutely spot on. Willemse, a Damian Willemse playing with confidence is one of the best players in world rugby. No question about it. Willemse with ball in hand is sensational. And of course, Reinach as well, getting himself a man of the match and 2 tries, also was able to push the tempo a lot today. And I love this thing that we have within our scrum halves where we don't allow ourselves to be bullied by opposing forwards. I mean, seeing it from the likes of Faf, and I mean, going all the way back to like Hoogaard, you know, to I mean, yeah, like Hoogaard, Faf, kind of not allowing the opposition to intimidate us or to bully us. And I love to see that Jack Russell, that fight that I see in our scrum halves. You know, this rugby championship has been very, very interesting. Yes, we've now done the double and gone back to back, but this has felt short of a comfortable rugby championship with all the teams basically. I mean, with New Zealand and South Africa winning 3 games each, this could have really gone any way. With Australia playing how they played early on in this rugby championship, this entire tournament could have gone another way. With Argentina disturbing the progress of both New Zealand and Australia, if they beat South Africa last week or this week, who knows where this table could be. At one point, we were all sitting at 2 wins, 2 losses. This has been one of the most tight rugby championships in recent history. If I had to give it a rating in terms of how entertaining it was to watch, I give it an 8 out of 10. I mean, all of the games were superb watches of rugby. Staying up late watching some of these games, waking up early watching some of these games. This was a true treat for rugby fans. Now, I will say this. There is a lot of work to do within the South African camp. I think going into the end of year tour, we need to figure out how we're going to be able to fluidly and consistently, more importantly, consistently implement this Tony ball and then also kind of our traditional South African rugby way of playing, because we have it working 2 games in a row in Wellington and then last week, and then you have this week where it's like kind of falls flat. Is that due to the players? Is that due to the conditions? I don't know. It could also just be that Argentina played flipping well today. But nonetheless, the Springboks have won the Rugby Championship, winning today 27-29. And now, let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comment section below. I will be coming out with my team of the tournament, coming out either Monday or on Tuesday, coming out with a team of the tournament. Let me know your guys' thoughts on this game and the Rugby Championship as a whole. I'm curious to know what you guys have made of this Rugby Championship. This is my first Rugby Championship covered since I've had my channel, and it has been an absolute pleasure doing this. I have gotten so many good reviews, so much good feedback, and I cannot wait to continue covering the sports that we all love and cherish. Now, for all those who are new to my channel, make sure that you leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this video to the people you know who are true sports fans. Now, I will start posting football Premier League content as the international rugby season is quieting down. I will still be posting rugby content with the URC now going to be in full effect, with some of the senior players coming back into the fold. Now, folks, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, it has been Ratang Does Sports. See ya.